Yes, guys, you have read the title correctly. The Quant CEO confirms Quant to $10,000 by 2025. Throughout this video, I'll be reacting to his interview regarding the prospect of the digital pound and more on the Quant project. So stay tuned till the very end to find out more details on that and a brief summary of the Quant crypto token and a bit more detail regarding as to their value and their prospect over the future. So yeah, with that being said, let's get right into the video.
Introducing yourself and Quant, and tell us a bit more about how Quant relates to central bank digital currencies generally and your personal interest in the digital pound more broadly.
Hi, I'm Gilbert Verdian, CEO and founder at Quants. We're a blockchain infrastructure company, and we've been one of the pioneers in this space, helping establish blockchain standards with ISO TC307 in 2016, and creating protocols and our Overledger platform that solves interoperability for institution, central bank, and enterprise use cases. Very interested in CBDCs. Personally, it was a very early introduction to blockchain during my time in government in 2008 at the Treasury. So really saw the potential of what a digital pound can bring to the UK and what it can do for businesses and consumers. And working on it since then, the time is right to be able to bring that into fruition for the UK and other jurisdictions. And what it really means for consumers and businesses, commercial banks and institutions is really the ability to have programmable money, and that really allows smart money to operate and take away a lot of the pain points that we have in a binary system, because money is quite binary, and it needs to evolve to keep up with the digital lives that we all have today and the digital world we live in. So really interested in enabling the tests and the use cases of different types of CBDCs, wholesale, retail, or hybrid, and enabling the payment systems to have and complement a CBDC for various types of use cases, either wholesale or retail or both.
So yeah, Gilbert Verdian actually talks about some very interesting points over this first part of the interview. So firstly, it's very important to understand that the Quant project is actually involved in establishing blockchain standards and creating protocols and for the Overledger platform. And the main focus for the Overledger platform is actually to solve the dilemma of interoperability. So if you guys are not sure what interoperability means, well, it means that different blockchains, different technologies, or different social media platforms, it basically means different marketing techniques that require different forms of assets, different forms of currencies, or different forms of intercommunication. Well, the interoperability feature of this Overledger platform ensures that it's all unified and generalized for in one single manner. So the main thing is that what he first talks about is the digital currency and the importance of the virtual pound or the digital pound. And given that he has been part of the central bank for the last 15 years and he was part of that for quite a long time, which means he's very experienced in this field, we get a very good insight as to why he's so driven to lead the Quant project to a new meta where multiple companies are going to be affiliated, and a lot of the general consumers, such as the general public, will kind of be able to understand and use the digital pound a lot better than we are doing right now, especially given that we are in the 21st century and technology is advancing pretty quickly. So yeah, let's just carry on.
Fantastic. I mean, I think it's going to be so interesting to see how this evolves. And in particular, I wanted to ask you a bit about the prospects for implementation of central bank digital currencies around the world. I think we've got over 100 countries now doing different experimentations and pilots. What do you see coming down the pike?
I think where we're heading is further innovation and experimentation, but complementing that with real world tests and not just relying on the theory or the paper exercise. and doing that in a kind of regulatory sandbox where actual usage and institutions and commercial banks and retail banks test what that looks like for them. And we're seeing a lot of examples of that with the work that's being led with the BIS and all the participating central banks, but also in smaller jurisdictions actually implementing this in production. And we're seeing very early results of that in various countries around the world. I think where it's heading is the bigger jurisdictions need to weigh up and balance the risk benefit and, why a CBDC, what makes it different, what makes it unique. And we're kind of at the inflection point where they've done the economic research, they've tested a lot of the use cases, either internally or with participants or with, institutions directly. And now they want to really understand, well, what does that actually mean to the financial system that they're responsible for? So what we'll see in 2023 and in the next 5 years is the beginning of the implementation of CBDCs in various forms. And most jurisdictions would pick the right use case and the right type of CBDC that works best in their financial system. And with the help of the banks and the participants, they're going to collaboratively implement this and make it part of the financial system.
So yeah, just to kind of summarize what he said and kind of explain a little bit further as to what his personal interests are with the CBDC and why he's so closely affiliated with the CBDC. Well, firstly, we need to understand that the interoperability feature is majorly suited for financial institutions, the central bank, and mainly the enterprise use cases. So we're talking about like more big franchises or various companies that are trying to, digitize the way they hold transactions and so on and so forth. So mainly, because Gilbert has his own personal interest in CBDCs, he saw the potential of what a digital pound could bring to the UK during his time in the government while he was working for the central bank. And he says that the CBDCs can actually provide the ability to have programmable money. So you can enable smart money to operate and take away many of the pain points in the binary system. So as we all know, the current digital currency is mainly affiliated with the binary system, so it's kind of a hassle and it's a bit backdated in the way it's being utilized. So when we have multiple blockchains of using different cryptocurrencies, it kind of gets in the way and it is very hard and time consuming to transfer assets in between. So the idea is that with the help of the CBDCs, the Overledger platform can basically provide one singular form of intercommunication, so there's no more hassle within changing assets, and having a smart programmable money such as the Quant token will basically operate in a much faster and more efficient way for multiple central banks, institutions, and of course enterprises.
And how do you think the arrival of CBDCs and new forms of money is going to change the way we actually transact? And what do you think is the wider implication of that?
I think money is, in its current form, outdated. It's no longer able to keep up with the way we as a society operate so digitally. And we're very complex in terms of transacting between different parties. Even just doing your grocery shopping is a complicated thing today. But the evolution of money into a CBDC means it's programmable, and a lot of the risk, a lot of the uncertainty, and a lot of kind of the manual barriers and the friction that we have today with a binary money system will go away, because you can automate that with the technology underpinning blockchain, such as smart contracts, and you can really tackle a lot of those complex things in a very seamless way. So businesses and consumers can put some logic behind how money should work, or how transactions should be completed, when it's completed. If my builder completes the renovations on time, and it's certified by the conveyancer that it's been done to an appropriate level, and council approves it from an inspection perspective, then you can release the money. Doing that transaction in the binary system is very complicated and quite manual, but you can automate that with smart contracts and a CBDC, and you take that complex equation and program it into money itself, whilst all parties are involved and they're participating, and that way you really get the benefit of automation by getting rid of all those complex workflows.
Yeah, I think I'm going to see so much change, particularly in the public sector and the way things operate, which is going to be really, really interesting and hopefully drive a lot of efficiency. So looking forward to seeing how that evolves. And I know we've got a use case working group coming up in 2023, so we'll have a lot more discussion on that.
Yeah.
So just coming to Quant itself, and you're one of the originating members of the foundation. So what do you see as the benefits of being a member, either yourself as Gilbert or as Quant as a company?
This is a large era of transformation, and as an industry, we're all working towards the same goal, and it's really enabling the implementation of digital assets within the financial system, and other systems as well, like healthcare, trade finance, supply chain, etc. What we need to do as an industry is work and collaborate to make this happen. You can't have one single person, one single company, or one single organization, like a university, for example, bringing this about. It's a joint effort. And so we as a company and personally as well have been involved by giving back and contributing to various initiatives, including standards through ISO. We're doing protocols with MIT and IATF, and also trade bodies and industry bodies like Digital Pound Foundation. And we're London based, and this is home for us, and this is a great way for us to bring that world experience back into the UK, contribute with our peers into policy thinking, into some of the use cases, for example, as you mentioned, and really be able to do this as a joint initiative, because it really needs the momentum of the industry to get behind it, to make this transformation happen. And we're very excited to be part of it, and we're very humbled to be able to be in this situation, to work with peers, and help government understand what this means, help policymakers derive the right policy, and really help with the technology and standards and our thinking, to make this a growth initiative for the UK, and that's what's happening. The government's understand.
So just before he finishes, just would like to clarify that Gilbert Verdian is actually a strong believer in the digital pound, and why he thinks that it's a great prospect is actually due to multiple reasons. So firstly, we need to understand that over 100 countries are actually experimenting and piloting CBDCs, and the Quant project is actually heading towards further innovation, experimentation, and many more real-world tests in regulated sandboxes. So the idea is, because we have multiple countries that are collaborating together, there is a joint trust and a sort of teamwork aspect to this. So basically, the Quant Overledger platform, or the Overledger network, cannot be established, and it will not achieve its actual desired goal unless there's a collaborative feature. So multiple parties have to be involved in this, so that the Quant token can actually be a lot more viable and useful for the general public. The idea is that for Quant to reach $10,000 is actually very, very possible, and it's not just a shabby dream. It just depends on how many franchises, how many companies, and how many institutions are actually looking to partner up and look out for each other, and basically agree to use one generalized platform to intercommunicate. So currently we are at the inflection point where the bigger jurisdictions need to weigh up the risk benefit of CBDCs, and that's pretty much what Verdian says. So it's important to pick up the right use case and the type of CBDC that works best in their financial system. The arrival of CBDCs and new forms of money will of course change the way the transactions are completed between multiple companies and franchises. So money will become programmable, and tackling many of the complex issues in a seamless way will be very, very convenient for the general public. So the idea is, and the main goal is, so that businesses and consumers will be able to put logic behind for how money should work or how transactions should be completed in a very seamless way. That's basically the main goal of the Quant project, and that's what Verdian stands for.
Understanding that this has a lot of potential, not just to transform the financial system, but to bring a lot of benefits and growth to the country, and we're very glad to be participating.
Well, as you say, I think it's a collaborative effort. We need people with technology experience, business experience, payments experience, a lot of different types of knowledge and policy experience as well. So grateful to you for getting this Digital Pound Foundation off the ground in the first place and being a key part of it, and continuing to put your effort and your support behind it, and also for giving your time today. So thank you very much for being with us.
Great. Thank you, Ellen.
So yeah, that kind of sums up what Verdian's take is on the Quants project, and why he is a strong believer in the fact that the implementation of CBDCs beginning in 2023 will allow the Quant token by the year 2025 to actually reach a sky high of $10,000. And yes, guys, this is actually true. He pretty much confirmed it over throughout this interview, and multiple other articles and public talks that he has attended. So I would very, very strongly urge for all of you guys to check that out. But yeah, just to clarify and solidify a couple of the things that he has said, let's kind of dive into the analysis of the Quant token. So over here, we're actually looking at the Quant token as of today, which is sitting at a pretty reasonable $109, or 108.97 to be exact. Kind of fluctuates between the 110, or we're looking at 115 or 114 for today, and all the way down to 108. So that's the price it fluctuated for today, and the market cap is still very, very high, looking at $1.3 billion dollars, and it has an overall circulating volume of $23 million. Sorry, the market cap was $1 billion, $1.3 billion, yeah. And the token over the last 7 days has actually been pretty green, increasing rapidly in value overall. And as you guys can see, that starting from a very low of $103, it peaked at almost $120, so 119.59. And yeah, it just been very, very stable coin, very safe coin as an investment. And this is a very good investment as well for the long term, because it's one of those safe coins which gradually gains the value and increases in price value, because it all relies on the Quant project, and it's all dependent on the things that they're going to release over the next coming months. So for the year 2024, we're actually looking at some very, very good news coming up, which will allow the Quant token to very easily double, and that's the main thing we're looking out for. And apart from that, we also can look at this graph right here. So ideally, we can see that we have established the support level to be $95. This was quite a while back, so in the last 2 to 3 months the support level has been $95, and as of recent, so we're looking at the month of December, we can see some big green candles, and these are very, very good indicatives or indicative factors as to why Quant will easily boom and reach that $10,000 mark very soon. And yeah, so as you guys can see from this $95 support level, it has actually boomed up almost once, twice, 3 times, and 4 times, and it is starting to reach an all-time high for the year 2024. So yeah, it's pretty good token overall as of right now. Very good investment, very safe investment, I would say, and it just requires a bit of patience for you to be profiting from it. It's not one of those tokens where you guys will invest into it and expect overnight turns. The Quant token will actually, as I said, gradually and slowly increase in value as more of the project actually starts to be established and be more commonly used. So just need to be patient and just need to be trusting Verdian's plan and his ambition. Other than that, So over here we actually have two tweets that I kind of wanted to briefly go over. So firstly, there's this tweet here by Sananel11, who is a very reliable Twitter source who gives us news about the QNT token. So over here we have a pretty straightforward graph, pretty simple graph to interpret, and it shows us here how the deception of linear versus exponential growth is shown. So generally the growth of crypto tokens, especially for the QNT token, is an exponential growth. So it's not something that happens progressively by the same amount, but it's something that will rapidly increase after a certain point in time. So initially, as you guys can see, there's the disappointment level, which is below the linear growth, and as you get past the point between linear and exponential growth, this is where we see a huge steep uprise in the QNT tokens of value, and that's the point we are at as of right now for the year 2023. And as the year is ending and slowly the year 2024 is commencing, we are going to be seeing very rapid uprise in the value of the QNT token. And the main thing that can actually back up this point, and as to why this is a very good interpretation of the QNT token's growth, is actually this tweet over here. And as you guys can see, the QNT token is going to pull a dollar Matic type move very soon. Just watch it. I hope you have your bags prepared. This is where I think Quant is in the current cycle. So given the end of 2023, because we have ended, or actually not ended, we are starting to see a huge uprise in the value of the QNT token, because generally the support level of the QNT token used to be around the $87-85 mark for almost the entirety of the year 2023, and given the month of November and December, we are starting to see a huge uprise in the values. So as I have shown you over in the graph for the QNT token, within the last 7 days we're seeing a huge amount of green, a lot of highs and barely any lows, because given that we started from the $103 mark, we have reached an all-time high for the month of December of almost $120, which is very promising, because throughout the entire month we did not start as high, but there's a lot of red, and just near to the last couple of days we are seeing very, very good green increase in values. So yeah, there's an uprise of 2.74% for the QNT token within the last month, and throughout the day obviously now we're dipping slightly, but it's still very safe and reliable to be investing into it. And yeah, I hope you guys have kind of understood why the QNT token is such a great investment, why it's such a good project as well, most importantly. And Verdian's interview hopefully has clarified for you guys why by the year 2025 we are looking at huge upsides in the value of the QNT token. So yeah guys, with all of that being said, I hope you have enjoyed the video, and if you have made it all the way through, I would appreciate if you guys like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and commented down below how much Quant you're holding, or if you have any other thoughts on today's video. So yeah, with that being said, I hope to see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.